Hi, welcome to the coaching game. I am so excited to have my guest on. We were just deciding how long ago it was that we met, and I am thinking good 15 years ago. Millie Grenough. Hey, Millie Grenough.
Hi, Laurie. So great to be with you again.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. And Millie has done quite a few things in her life, and since we last chatted on the show in 15 years ago. But we have officially decided to declare June Oasis in the Overwhelm month. And nothing could make me happier because if anybody needs an oasis, we all do right now. But
Whew.
Millie is, yes, right? Millie is the founder and the creator and the inspiration for Oasis in the Overwhelm. And I don't think we can go any further, Millie, without us hearing your story. It's like because it's unique. It's very unique. So how did this all
Well,
get
I'll
started?
tell you, I think like all of us, we leave such busy, so busy, busy, busy. And there I was. It's more than 20 years ago now. I had recently married, had recently finished another master's, had begun a new business, and when I married, inherited several teenage stepsons. And I thought I was handling everything wonderfully. I'm just cooking along here. But I'm so hard-headed that it took a near-death bicycle accident to stop me. I was out biking with a friend and we were just cruising along, and he says later he thinks I hit a pothole and it threw me over the handlebars, and I was just flat out on a country road. It was before cell phones. He didn't know what to do. He tells me later he thought I was dead, but then he thought I made a noise, I might be a vegetable. But somehow a car came along and they got me to the little town of, I can't even remember the name, like population 1,200 in Connecticut. And a Lifestar helicopter flew me the 42 miles to Yale New Haven emergency room. And I'm here today thanks to them. But it was during that incident, being in the hospital, uh, that kind of woke me up to how speedy I had been and how unaware of my life. I worked the same mental health division of that hospital. And the way I was treated when I came into the ER, I was mostly unconscious. But when I got conscious, I remember the first thing I said was hand, hand. I just needed human contact. And I came to, after the third time saying hand, a candy striper was holding my hand, but she had plastic gloves on, rubber gloves. I said, skin, skin. So all kinds of experiences like that. The next day, the doc came in, and I was like, and I heard him say, female, bicycle accident, rupture kidney, 3 concussions. I guess he's talking about me, but he didn't say, good morning, Miss Greneau, I'm doctor. May I bring some interns? No, it was just like, and that night when I was going through, you're getting the long story, but it helps me to tell it because
It's
we all,
fascinating.
it's so busy with our lives. That night I was out of it again, but I felt this, it felt like somebody touching my head in a real way, and it felt like a tropical breeze. It was the housekeeper, and she said, "Honey, how you doing? How you doing?" And I thought, "Thank God there's a human being here." And that's what woke me up to how do I get so busy when I'm working at this hospital and forget that I'm a human being with other human beings? I have all the paperwork, all these deadlines, all these reports. So I couldn't work for 3 months at all. And then 3 more months, it was part time. So I didn't go to Gaylord rehab. I did my rehab in my backyard hammock, which I think was the best thing I could have done. It was like I didn't want to hear any inspirational tapes. I didn't want to read. It was just like sit there. It was July. There was a rhododendron next to me. I could see it coming out. And in those hours, days, minutes, I thought, I have to change if I'm going to live. And that's when these, what I call now my Oasis 60-second strategies came to me. And there were four of them. And I'm not even saying that I invented them. It was just like wisdom that had been given to me and was coming then. And I tried them out on me and they worked. Went back to work and people noticed something's different about Millie. Something's different. What is it? And they wanted to know. So I began doing workshops with my colleagues and they got it. And then I was doing it with other hospice workers, social workers, health workers. And my bookkeeper said, Millie, we were having lunch, I'm a person too. What about business people? Will you help us? And I remember going to the Chamber of Commerce and imagine Laurie teaching them the one stone. It was a but they got it. And so I'm so delighted that after all these years, I'll still meet people on the streets. Melly, I still have my stone. Thank you so much. So that's kind of what brought me to it and why I'm delighted to be here with you again, because you've done it with me.
I have. I
And
have.
yeah,
Definitely. So you're telling me that Oasis in the Overwhelm was born out of a tragedy and a rejuvenation and a celebration and an awareness of life.
you
What
got
better
it.
foundation could it have?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what is we've talked about one stone and four strategies, and we're going to get into that. But what is the overall principle of Oasis in the Overwhelm? What is the leading concept?
I think the leading concept is we realize as human beings, we're always dealing with challenges, difficult lives, especially if we're active and alive and here. And there are simple ways that we can bring ourselves to calm. And it's been my excitement that during this time, neuroscience is catching up with my Oasis in the Overwhelm. I won't say it that way, but I was delighted when I did training with John Kabat-Zinn and mindfulness, and I was with Thich Nhat Hanh, and all of these people affirming, and the neuroscience that comes out every minute, something new. We have the ability to change our minds and our habits by how we think and by what we do. So it's up to us to see how we want our daily lives to fold out. And I'm not saying I don't ever get stressed. I do. I just notice it more quickly and can respond rather than react in a way that's useful. And
You
the people around me are glad too, I'll tell you.
Yes, it's an overwhelming and
Yeah,
expanding
yeah.
viewpoint, and that's good. You give out good vibes and get them back. Well, you're talking about four strategies. What are they, and why only four? That it's that simple? Yeah.
Right. I, on purpose, really wanted simple strategies that didn't cost anything, that you could do them literally in 60 seconds or less, and they would make a difference. And I call them 4D, 3BC, Q2 do, and one stone.
Sounds
And
kind of
base
math-like, yeah.
and my colleague Joe, the one who was with me on the bike accident, he knew I was working on this book and he said, Millie, only four strategies. There are books out with 96 strategies. I said, Joe, precisely that's why I have only four. I want you to get them and know what they are and use them. So the 4D is for directions. So that's using your physical. The 3BC is three breath countdown, getting your emotions, your body. The Q to do invites you to notice what your stress cues are. Like I'll often get a headache or a stomach. And if I examine that, I can find out and what to do with that. And that's the cue to do something. And the one stone I'll be doing with you later, Lauren.
Yeah.
So that I learned from Thich Nhat Hanh. So yeah,
Okay. So tell me, how has from your backyard and the garden, how has Overwhelm, the Oasis in the Overwhelm, how has that expanded? What have you done with it? Because that was 20 years ago, right? I know you published your first book, so let's celebrate. Wow, 20 years ago.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, but how has it expanded? What have you done with this
Well,
fantastic information?
it's been so exciting. After the book came out, like you, I'm a coach, and I went to ICF Connecticut chapter and did a presentation of the book and did the strategies. And I was hoping there'd be 50 people there. There weren't that day. I think there were eight. And I said, go with it, Millie. This is who's here.
Yep.
And I taught them the strategies, and they said, Millie, we as coaches need this. Could you develop a training and train us? And so, and Steve Porcaro, who was there, said, well, I'm new to coaching. Can I buy 20 of your books right now to give to my
Oh.
clients? And it was like, whoa, we're cooking.
Yes, you can.
And four of the coaches who were there were in the Pioneer Oasis training in
Oh,
2005, and they're still using it with their clients. It's so since then, there I've trained 150 authorized Oasis facilitators throughout the United States. I've done it teletraining, had training Europe. There was a woman in the Netherlands, several people in Latin America. I was invited to Argentina to give two presentations, wonderful, hundreds of people at this international mind brain thing. So exciting. And the books, because I lived in Bolivia and Peru for 3 years, so I speak Spanish and love Latino culture. And the books exist now in Spanish and the CDs. So it's just exciting that I keep hearing from people even now. I did a presentation last week at the library, and I saw the man who had been in, and he said, oh, Millie, great presentation. This was a week later. I'm doing the 4D dump all the time now. So I'm just grateful and heartened that, especially today, when there's so much more stress that's ongoing for all of us and for the world, it feels like one little ripple that helps peace and beauty for whatever it's worth.
and here and the value has quadrupled to a million times, because it has been stressful, starting with the pandemic. For gosh sakes, that was like, what's going on? And then we came out of that. I'm not sure how, but a lot of turmoil going on. So hallelujah
Yeah.
for Oasis in the Overwhelm. Now, how is it available now? Do you still do presentations? Do
I am, yeah, that's exciting news for me. I realized that for this chapter of my life, I really have wanted to hand over the leadership of Oasis to the next generation. And I'm delighted that a graduate who's wonderful from the 2012 training Suzanne Dudley Schoen, who lives in New Hampshire, is taking on the directorship of the whole international. So she's handling, and she's a younger generation and knows much more than I do, more about social media, about the best ways to reach people, young people, old people. I'm hearing from teachers that grade school, high school, college people just need this. So I'm handing over the leadership to Suzanne, and I'm still delighted to do workshops, retreats. I'll make cameo appearances at the trainings, but won't will have more time to lie in my hammock myself than I had before.
I
Yeah.
think you know you've reached it when you can make a cameo appearance. It's like, okay, I can relax a little. We're going to have Suzanne on later this month, and she's going to sort of give us an idea of how and why she took over and what the future looks like. I know she's working closely with Millie and other people to keep that going on, but Oasis is strong. One thing,
Yes.
yeah, and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I love that. I love that. So it's such a thrill to 15 years later to say, okay, let's keep talking about Oasis. One thing I noticed, and I know you have the book. And I have a thing, but I noticed something very clever and I went, hallelujah. And you might have had it all along, but something called O to go, which means and so often we all go to workshops and say, yes, this is how I'm going to live my life. And let me, and the next day, the car won't start. And you forget all about it. And it's like, oh, I wish I could do it again. But you have managed to give a little takeaway, of tangible takeaway. That tell us about that because I'm excited about that.
Well, uh, did you just show me that you have your ode to
You
go
used
from years
I don't
ago?
know if it was then called Oasis in the Overwhelm. I know we have no time for long words nowadays, but yes, this was what you gave me, and I have used it ever since. Is it still in the same cool little packet and everything?
It's still same cool little
Oh,
package.
fantastic. Yeah.
A
Well,
coin?
let me show you what's in here.
Sure. Yeah.
It's one thing, it's the stone, which we're going to talk about very shortly, and a card telling you how to use this stone. I don't think you can see it, but how to use this stone and what you can do with it. I know you had told a story. Um, I guess it either was on my show or maybe in Connecticut, but a story about how an executive was just so he doesn't have time for this, and oh my God, I just can't, Millie, I can't sit down with you. And finally, when you got him to sit down, I believe to this day he's still carrying the stone in his pocket. And I've always said, God, what a tribute to her concept and the fact that you could get him to sit down long enough to explain it. So you are a very persuasive lady, if nothing else. Yes.
So, Laurie, I won't even say he didn't even have to sit down. I saw him walking on the New Haven Green in his three-piece suit and very official looking. And he says, Millie, and he's reached down his hand to shake, and he had the stone in his hand. I said,
Oh.
Tony, you still have it. Of course, it reminds me to chill with Mill.
So it's still going on. I had a feeling when I don't think you can't drop it once you realize, wow, this is some powerful stuff. And I mean, we're not talking about a crystal gold laden stone. We're talking about a stone, just a plain old stone. Let me see, a plain old stone. What does the stone do? What is it blessed
Well,
by?
do we have time to do it right now?
I think,
It's
well,
60 seconds.
sure. I
And
think we
also to
always have
let
time to chill with Mill, of course.
and to let people know all that is available on the Oasis and the Overwhelm.com website, the books in English, Spanish, CDs, etc. But if you're right now watching this with us, if you have a stone, if you don't have a stone, if you have a paper clip, if you have a
Anything.
lipstick tube, whatever, just put it in your hand so that you can see it.
Mhm.
And this is what I learned from Thich Nhat Hanh after I had my bike accident. He was doing, it was actually the first retreat he gave in the United States. I didn't know that till later. I was so fortunate.
Yeah.
But he went with the kids down to the lake and invited them to pick up a stone. And he said, I'll tell you something because I use this all the time. You kids don't know about Vietnam, but it was a really hard time. People were dying, they were wounded, and I wanted to help them. But I'd go, but I lost it because I wasn't used to being in the streets, and you're in the streets. So I finally found this that would help me. He said, it's not about closing your eyes and going away to a peaceful place. That's good. But this one's about developing the emotional muscles to be right here, right now, wherever we are. So he did it with them for 10 breaths. We won't do it for 10 breaths now, Laurie. Let's just do it for 3 breaths. But before we do it, look at whatever you're doing it with. If you're at home doing, what's the color? Is it one color or is it many? Is it the same all sides or is it different? How much does it weigh? What's its temperature? So all we'll do now is just take 10 easy breaths out and in. And if your mind goes somewhere else when you do it, don't worry, don't bother. That's what our minds do. Just bring it back to the next breath in rest out. Ready? Here
Ready?
we go. Just take a couple more seconds to notice whatever you notice about your stone and yourself with curiosity, not with judgment, just curious. And if it feels okay to say out loud, what are you noticing, Laurie?
I'm noticing that every time I do this, I find something different. Mine has wrinkles, and I'm using that for because it's an old, I'm going to say it's an old stone, well, wise with wisdom and experience. And every time I do this, it's like, oh, there's another wrinkle. And I found it. It's like, okay. It's just a little bitty thing, but it's got a lot of wrinkles, so I love it.
And that's and in yourself, how do you feel? Your mind is awake. You're
I feel calmer because I have it's a busy schedule today. I there's a couple things I wanted to work out before I even got started today, and it's like, oh, you didn't get to do that. It's like, well, okay, but you're here now, and you're with Millie, and you got your stone. So it's like, all right, calm down. It's like, yes,
yeah.
very, very relaxing. And you can do that with your eyes closed or with it open, right? But you can't see the stone if you close your eyes. So that's the beauty of it all. Yeah. Or the paper clip or whatever you're using. Yeah.
And even I remember doing it the first time, big group of people, and I asked, a lot of people felt calm, and I asked, did anybody feel more agitated? And one brave man in the back said, I did. I said, good for you. You did it right too. And he was like, huh? You took the time to notice what's going on with you.
Yeah.
And he became aware, then he could make some choices. So and as coaches, many of the coaches do this before they begin a session
Yes, of
and
course.
do it with their clients. So it's such a kick. And how much does it cost?
Well, if you go to the river right, or wherever, gravel street, I don't know, yeah, it costs
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, it's the awareness and the fact that you have that awareness and you found a way to share it with everybody. I think is just amazing. And now there are people trained to do this, and it's international, which is just
Yeah.
astounding to me. And I'm sure. 20 years ago, you were thinking, oh, okay, well, this works for me, but
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So what you're gonna be speaking, you're gonna be handing over the reins with your foot still in and with your finger still in the pot, of course.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. And so what's up for you personally? Let me tell you, I've already told Millie I will not sing with her and I will not dance because she gets you to do all kinds of crazy stuff. But you want to sing, you go ahead, right ahead. Because I know you were taking some weird singing lesson, yodel. I don't know what you were doing. This woman is like, give me the next adventure, please. So what's up for
Well,
you personally? We have like 2.5 minutes. Tell us about it.
2.5 minutes. Well, I've realized I really want more time with family and friends. And now I never had biological children, but my husband did. And now I have these six incredible grandchildren,
Oh my.
all under age 20, and being with them. And I'm a member of the City of New Haven Peace Commission, which is working for more peace in our city and the world. And get this, Laurie, you don't know this. Had to do something strictly to keep the music going. So I joined a class, a bluegrass, and I'm playing upright bass in the bluegrass group.
Oh my goodness.
And they called, we just did a recital last week, and the song I sang was 8 more miles and Louisville will come into my view. And they call it Millie and the Mountain Goats, is the name of our group.
Oh my. Well, you have
Because
to keep us posted on that too. My
who
goodness.
knows? Who knows?
Who
And
knows?
Louisville being my hometown and Kentucky, my home
Yeah,
state.
yeah.
Now
That
New Haven.
Louisville is my utopia. When I was there, it was like, oh, this is where I should be. And then I ended up in New York City, go figure, but I just still love Louisville. Yes, tell us where can we find you and you and your adventures and your other people and where are you?
Okay, I'm Millie at milligrenault.com. And also that's my website,
Let me just
milligrenault.
tell you how she got me to remember her name. It's GR enough. Doesn't sound that way, but Millie Grenough.
You got it.
Okay, yes.
Millie, GR enough. And all of the info about Oasis and the Overwhelm, Suzanne, who's the new SUZANNE at oasisandtheoverwhelm.com. And the website is www.oasisandtheoverwhelm.com. And we're there.
I can only recommend that everybody check it out. Everybody needs an oasis. Millie's got a simple way to make sure that you get your oasis. And Millie Renault, we're gonna do this again another 20 years. What do you think?
I don't want to
Shorten
wait
it
that
to, no,
long,
I
Laura.
agree.
No, no, no.
Let's shorten it to next year. Why not? And see
Okay.
what mess you have gotten yourself into. What exciting mess.
Always a pleasure with you, Laura.
Always. Thank you
Always.
so much for being on the coaching game, Millie. And really, let's do it again real soon because you are such.
Very soon. Okay. Hasta
Thank
la
you.
vista.
Yes, yes.